take a wrong turn in dating is they're so focused on what can I do? How can I do this? How can I do this different? Do. What do I got to do? What do I got to do? What do I got to do? And they forget the fact that, at the end of the day, men are so much less interested in what you're doing, and we're so much more attracted to and magnetized to who you are being and who you be, how you show up, how you present yourself online or in person or in any sphere of reality, right? Who you be is going to be determined upon how you see yourself.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. So let's be honest, 2020 really sucked for love. And I don't know, maybe you were one of the lucky people, but so many people had to take a break from dating last year because they weren't sure how to find love safely. But there is good news. Apparently, our perspectives and our priorities have changed since last year. Data shows that many people are dating more intentionally. They're having deeper conversations and they're taking the time to really get to know each other. So in fact, 2021 is shaping up to be a really good year to fall in love. But with dating, like with everything, it's really hard to stay motivated, right? Because that online dating thing gets old so fast. You don't know what you're doing wrong, and you meet a few bad apples and you get discouraged. So what if you decided to do something different this year? What if you decided to try dating with a coach supporting you? Mat Shaffer is a dating coach who helps women create beautiful and soulful relationships with men who adore them. And Mat is incredibly generous with his time. We have had him on the show several times with us to talk about our hidden blocks to love. And today he's going to be sharing with us how to find love in 2021. And make sure to watch for an incredible opportunity to work with Mat absolutely free. Welcome back, Mat.
Hi, Amy. It's so wonderful to see your face again. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you. So how is 2021 treating you so far?
It's been amazing. I mean, really, like I ended 2020, on a high note. It was obviously a challenging year for me, as it was for everybody. I moved across the country to Portland right before the pandemic hit. So I moved to a new city where I knew nobody and then immediately couldn't really leave my house. So that was a really interesting challenge / opportunity for me. And that was really when I look back and I reflect on 2020, which is what I do every year as I move into the new year. I look back on it and I saw that a lot of my greatest challenges and greatest obstacles that I faced ended up being my greatest opportunities. It all came down to how I chose to respond to them, right? Because we always have a choice whenever a new situation, comes before us on whether we want to respond to it or react to it. You know what I'm saying? And so I really recognize that because I chose to respond to these challenges, because I have a vision for my life and what I want to create, I responded in an expansive, focused way because I know who I am and I know what I want to create in my life, right? All those things that I thought were these insurmountable obstacles ended up being huge platforms that have moved me towards the life and vision that I want to create, and that's the sort of stuff I talk to my clients about a lot, right? Well, because dating brings with it a lot of challenges, I understand that completely. Dating and relationship does, but they can all be happening for us. They can all help us grow if we choose to look at it the right way. So even 2021, right? I woke up a couple of days ago and my neck was all locked up and I'm like, wow, what is this? What is this here to teach me? How is this happening for me? And I've chosen to use it as a tool to help me slow down and really get really focused and intentional for
So
2021.
I want to know about some of these things that you have learned from 2020. How do you think last year has shaped dating, and especially for people, like yourself who are in a situation where they may not have been in a place surrounded by a lot of friends and people they knew, and then suddenly they were trapped alone with too much time to think and not enough social connection?
Well, I think, and part of what we get to look at is why are we scared, or why do we have so much resistance around being alone? What is it about ourselves that we are so afraid to look at or evaluate, And I think that's why so many relationships ended in 2020, right? Like the divorce rate skyrocketed because people were finally forced to look at and confront, the truth of what happened in their relationships, and what was happening, and whether or not it was actually a good idea for them to be together. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, a lot of relationships ended, I think, because they should have ended probably years before that, but everybody stays so busy that we hide. And this is what I see what a lot of my clients do, is that they hide behind being busy. They use their daily routines and they use all these different activities that they're participating in as a way of escaping from, doing inner work. And if there's one huge lesson that I have found in 2020, it was the value of really looking within and doing inner work that maybe I was too busy to do before, and a lot of my clients and students, my business grew a lot in 2020 because I really do focus on inner work. I think inner work is the key to creating healthy relationships, because all relationships we have with others is a mirror for our relationship with ourselves. So until we've done this inner work and looked at our own internal dynamics and how we see and understand and how we feel about ourselves, until we've cleaned that up, we're going to keep, projecting the same patterns out into our relationships with others. If you're not worthy in the way that you see yourself, your relationships with other people are going to reflect that unworthiness, And so I've seen so many incredible transformations in people's relationships in 2020 because people did the work. They actually sat down, they looked at their beliefs, they looked at how they saw themselves, and they chose a different way of understanding and appreciating themselves. And it immediately reflected in their relationships with other people. So, the pandemic was a blessing, honestly, for me and for so many of my clients and students, because it forced them to slow down and really look at themselves.
It's so interesting because often when we think about what we need to succeed with the opposite sex, we think of things like we need to learn to flirt better. We need to learn to make small talk. We need to make ourselves look better. We need to be sexier. We need to put ourselves out there more. We need to be sending more messages on social media. We need to be sending more messages on online dating. And what you're saying is actually just stop. Hold on. Maybe what we need to do is stop and listen to ourselves and get in the right relationship with ourselves before we can be in the right relationship with someone else.
Exactly. One, and what you talked about so beautifully expresses, I think, where so many women, take a wrong turn in dating, is they're so focused on what can I do? How can I do this? How can I do this different? Do. What do I got to do? What do I got to do? What do I do? And they forget the fact that, at the end of the day, men are so much less interested in what you're doing, and we're so much more attracted to and magnetized to who you are being and who you be, how you show up, how you present yourself online or in person or in any sphere of reality, right? Who you be is going to be determined upon how you see yourself, right? So, like, let's take time to look at our ways of being and how they're a reflection of who we are, right? Because that's at the end of the day what men are attracted to. I never look at a woman and I'm like, oh my God, her resume is absolutely irresistible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna look at her, I'm gonna be in front of her, and I'm gonna see, the sparkle in her eyes. I'm gonna see how she holds herself. I'm gonna feel her energy. That's gonna be what draws me in. I'm not gonna be like, my God, this woman's 401k is absolutely knocking my socks off right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we really are we are attracted to energy. You know what I'm saying? And so when we do inner work, our energy shifts. When our energy shifts, our reality changes, our relationships change, who we are and our identity changes. And that's really the magic of doing relationship work, is that when we change when we change how we see ourselves, the whole world around us shifts fundamentally, including our relationship with love.
And you've been teaching this, of course, in your course on the mastery of connection and magnetism for so long.
Mhm.
And it's about that inner work. And it's about becoming the sort of woman who attracts love rather than has to go out and hustle for it. Can you give us some traits? Like when you talk about the sort of woman that you can walk past on the street and just feel an immediate attraction to, what are some of the qualities that she radiates?
Well, I mean, yeah, and exactly. I mean, my courses, Mastery Connection and Mastery Magnetism, like we've worked with over 10,000 women in like 50 plus countries over the last couple of years. It's been incredible to see how it's spread and how it's helped women from literally, like sultanesses like in Dubai, down to, women that are, working in rural parts of South America or all over the world. Like the problems are all the same, the obstacles are the same, the challenges are the same, and the breakthroughs are the same. And I mean, really, like what the traits that men truly light men up, right? Are first off, when he sees a woman, really whether or not that woman is open to connection, right? So when we talk about ways of being, are you demonstrating to the masculine that you are open to connection? Because the masculine is craving connection, right? Especially from the feminine. We feed off of it. It nourishes us in a deep and fundamental way, right? And so often women have been taught this doctrine, right? Of leaning back. I need to lean back. I can't appear interested. I can't show. It's this like, women treat this like this is the Bible of love, that you can't show that you're interested. The problem with that is a lot of women lean back so far that they end up putting themselves on an island, right? And when you lean back so far that you're like imposing like this permanent gap between you and men that you want to be interested in you, the only men that end up, being willing to cross that void and scale that wall are the men who are narcissists, the men who are playboys, the men who are exactly the men that you are scared you're going to attract, right? If you make yourself too challenging to connect with, those are the only guys that are going to make that effort, right? And then it proves women's stories right? That, oh, well, I did what all the dating coaches told me. And then, the only guys I end up attracting are these narcissistic, douchewads. And it's like, well, yeah, because you made it so hard that they're the only ones that are willing to do it. So honestly, one of the greatest things you can do is ask yourself, check in with yourself on a regular basis. Am I demonstrating that I'm open to connection? Am I showing myself up? Am I open body, right? Am I willing to make eye contact with men? Am I saying hi to people? Like, am I smiling, not just with my face, but not just with my mouth, but with my eyes? You know what I'm saying? Like those little things, men see that and it helps encourage them, right? Like part of what the masculine is craving is an invitation from the feminine. So am I inviting that sort of contact and that sort of connection that I actually want? Is one of the first most important traits that I think women really get to ask themselves, whether it be walking down the street, even with a mask on, you can smile with your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And in your online dating profile, right? Is your profile an invitation, or is it a guarded fortress, being like, I've been hurt before, don't talk to me unless you're ready to commit? Like I've seen a lot of profiles online that are literally just women just basically saying, don't come to me unless you're ready for a relationship because I'm done playing games, and like that is not the sort of energy that you want to put out there, right? You don't want to project your wounds in your online dating profile.
So I want to talk about this a little bit more, about that openness, because you mentioned masks. So right now we are still living in kind of a weird world where we're walking around and half of our face is covered up. And like, I'm sure you've seen like sales of lipsticks going down, sales of like fake eyelashes are going up, because all we've got now is our eyes to communicate. And with COVID, it is so hard to project that openness and willing to connect, because we need to stay 6 feet apart. It feels like everything about society right now is keeping people at an arm's length. So what would you recommend for women right now, while the world is still pretty topsy-turvy and we haven't all been vaccinated? How can they project an openness to connection while still socially distancing?
Well, first off, it's a huge opportunity for you to practice the power of eye contact, which I talk about nonverbal communication in my courses. I also talk about it in a bunch of my videos. 60 to 70% of what men are perceiving and experiencing from you in connection is nonverbal. So even when you're having a conversation with them, right? Almost like over half of what a man is experiencing and receiving from your communication is your body language, is your eye contact, is the way that you're showing up to him. So this is an absolutely ninja time for you to practice the power of eye contact, because by being able to lock eyes with somebody, being able to look at somebody in a relaxed, confident way. And then when he matches your gaze, to not look away is one of the most powerful invitations you can make to a man, right? And you can smile under that mask and he will feel that energy. I can feel when a woman is attracted to me, even when she's wearing a mask, right? Like your eyes are tractor beams. They truly, truly are. And I can tell when a woman that I see, I can tell that she's beautiful, even when she's wearing a mask, right? It also helps you understand, wearing clothes that truly accentuate and highlight your body. It's another great, like a mask hasn't stopped your ability to do that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, it also diminishes competition because a lot of people have canceled themselves out of connecting with people out in the real world because of COVID. So there's a lot more opportunities to connect out in the world now because it's happening way less. So you're really going to set yourself apart if you smile, if you say hi, if you make eye contact at the grocery store with somebody that you think is attractive. I mean, it's like a whole new world out there. And again, you can look at it either way, right? It can be a crippling obstacle that makes it impossible to date, or it can be an incredible opportunity because so few people now are even making an attempt to connect out in the world. The choice is yours. That's one thing, right? The other thing is online dating now is even more so, right? The new normal of how people connect. So like online dating I've been preaching it for years, right? Because online dating is a really powerful container to meet an incredible partner. I don't care if it's Tinder or OkCupid or Match.com. Some of my sister is engaged to an incredible guy. Met him on Tinder last year before the pandemic started. Like Tinder is not just a hookup website. It's really not. But again, it all comes down to what energy are you going into that container with? You know, are you going into it with that intentionality and that true conscious like belief that there are great men out there? Because if you're not, you're going to get results. You're going to get confirmation bias results. You're going to get results that are going to confirm your beliefs. So choose your beliefs on the way in to online dating. Write your profile with an underlying belief that you are capable of, attracting a great partner, and it'll change. Your results will change, but it all starts with you.
One of the hardest things, I think, for any of us is to know how we're coming across to other people. So we can maybe
Mm.
hope that we are coming across as open to connection, but the people around us don't feel that way. And we don't realize there's a disconnect. And I think that is really where working with a coach helps, doesn't it?
Well, 100%. It's like that nose thing. Like we can't see our nose on our face, right? Like we don't know what we don't know. So you want to have someone in your life who is a mirror for you. And that's how I serve my clients and my students, both through working with people personally and then also through my group courses, right? I help you see what's standing between you and what you want. So step one is we get clear on what it is that you want to create and what is standing in the way of it, right? Because so often, what's standing in the way of it is our own self sabotage. It's our own resistance. It's our own faulty belief system, which is then resulting in us acting certain ways. I like to say our beliefs are like an invisible box that we're constantly stuck within, and we're hitting the walls of it. And we think that, that's just the way life is, but it's not. It's just the box that we've created for ourselves. And you can, at any point in time, you can just knock down the walls of that box and step into a completely new space. So, with all my students and with all my courses, including the free course that I'm offering to members of your community, right? We start with belief work. And it's belief work that literally has transformed the lives of thousands of women and of myself. Like I shared this work with the world because it made such a huge impact in my life. And it's magical how things change when we start seeing the ways that oftentimes the only thing standing between us and the relationship that we want and the life that we want is us. There's no bad guy out there. It's not, the president's fault or God's fault or, whoever's fault or your ex's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just your responsibility to do the work. And that's a very empowering shift that a lot of my clients and students have once they start doing that work.
You have always been so generous with your time and advice. And right now, I know you are offering a really special coaching opportunity for a very select few women. And it's going to start around Valentine's Day, right? Tell us more about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yes, on February 8th, so the week before Valentine's Day, we're going to do a launch of my Mastery of Connection course. It's a $2,000 course, and I'm going to be giving you the first half of that course. So I'm going to be doing 2 full weeks of that course, plus a week of free coaching and Q&A for free. So you're going to get over 20. You're going to get like 20 plus video lessons. You're going to get live office hours with me twice a week where I'm going to be live coaching you in the container. And I mean, oftentimes there are tears, there are laughter, there are breakthroughs. Office hours are always this magical experience. And they really help you. The first week is all around belief work. So I help you understand the connection between your beliefs and your results. And I help you choose new beliefs that are going to help you get different results in your life. And then we go into really helping you understand how you connect with yourself and other people at a different level. I help you understand your personality type, your attachment style, and how you can use those to create better relationships in your life. So, I mean, basically, I'm sharing the most transformational part of my first course for free with everybody who does get accepted. There's an application process for the ladies in your community, but we let you know pretty quickly if you've been accepted or not, and the details on how to join us.
One of the things I have often thought of is perhaps one of the reasons we struggle so much with dating is that we're basically flying off the seat of our pants. Like maybe we've read a few books or we've talked to our friends who, let's be honest, our friends aren't much better at dating than we are. And we really are on our own with this. And there's so much about dating that could be so shameful. Like when you get rejected, when you have one of those horrible encounters with some jerk on an online dating site that makes you feel yucky inside. And sometimes maybe the reason we might be held back and the reason we might feel that it's not working for us is because we don't have somebody helping us who knows how this all works. And that's why I think this opportunity of yours is just so fantastic.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing, all I want to do is be a liaison, a bridge and a liaison between the masculine and the feminine. Because I think one of the fundamental truths of dating is that at the core of it, men and women want the same things. We both want to feel loved and seen and heard and to be emotionally safe and to feel deep, meaningful connection with each other, right? We just have slightly different languages. We have different conditioning. There's just different lenses through which we're seeing the other side of the coin. So when you work with me, when you connect with me, I help you understand how men think and see and process you and how you can show up and be the most true and authentic version of yourself in such a way that men can truly see and appreciate the depth of who you are. Because it's not that men and women, Me Too, I think, created this sort of like demonization between men and women that I felt, I understand why it happened and why it needed to happen. But also, I think it's important that we really move back towards seeing each other as people, you know, and that there are so many loving, wonderful men out there that are scared. They're scared of being hurt. They're scared of how they're seen and perceived by women. And it's up to us to really come together in a spirit of openness and vulnerability and intentionality and recognize that, neither side is the bad guy. We all want to be loved and we're all worthy of love. And so, it's been my commitment of my life to help women connect with men in a meaningful, fulfilling way. It's what I've the intention on which I based my YouTube channel, which we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers this week, which is very exciting, and it's the culmination of, 2 years of me working a lot, in alignment with this, commitment to being that difference that I want to see in the world and in relationship.
And for those of you out there watching, if you want to find love in 2021, if you want to find a great, wonderful guy, if you want to have some help and have someone who can answer your questions, who actually knows what he's talking about, if you're ready to do that inner work, then it's time now to say yes to this opportunity that Matt is offering. All you have to do is go to yourbrilliance.org/Matt. Now that's yourbrilliance.org/MAT to send in your application. It's free. This is online. You don't have any reason not to if you want to find love. Matt, thank you so much. I always love having you on. These opportunities that you offer our community are so wonderful. And I wondered if you had any last message you would like to leave our viewers with.
Absolutely. If there's one thing, first of all, thank you so much, Amy, for having me on. I really appreciate it. And for everybody who's watching, I just want you to really, truly feel me when I say that everything that you want is possible. The relationship that you have counted yourself out of, right? That love that you are almost scared to even believe you're worthy of anymore in your life, it is possible for you. I have seen women break out of decades of destructive relationship patterns, abusive relationships, loneliness, isolation. The moment that they chose to see themselves a different way, the moment they chose to courageously step into a new paradigm of how they saw themselves and what they wanted in their lives, they attracted that relationship. Transformation happens in an instant, and it can happen for you today. And I mean, that first step, right? That first step in that journey is just filling out an application to come along and join us in this free course. We're going to have a great time. I guarantee you, you're going to get a ton of value. As long as you show up and you show up for office hours, you're going to get a ton of value at it. You will get massive growth, and you'll have a lot of fun too, because that's what I'm committed to. I mean, I don't think that this process has to be, a bummer. I'm not saying there won't be intense moments as you face a lot of the things that have been holding you back for 10, 20, 30 years. But at the end of the day, like, you're going to have a blast. And what awaits you on the other side is freedom and all the possibilities that you are truly and fundamentally worthy of, not because of anything you've done, but just because of who you are. You're worthy of what it is that you want simply by virtue of the fact that you exist. So step into that and come with us. We're going to have a great time.
Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you out there for watching. Now, did you have any aha moments or personal insights while watching this interview? If so, share them with us in the comments. And for more interviews like these, make sure to subscribe to Your Brilliance TV here on YouTube. And then come on over to yourbrilliance.com for more tips and insights on how you can live your most brilliant life. See you next time.